Welcome back to Buyer's Guide. Up next, we have a question from Andrew. His question, why a dealership charges over 6,000 Rand for licensing and registration when the process typically costs around 1,000 Rand. He was told he can't handle himself due to the bank restrictions on financed vehicles. He wants to know why banks, despite profiting from vehicle financing, still charge initiation and monthly admin fees. I suppose you better ask the bank that, but do you guys know, Mart?
They get away with it.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's a straight answer for you. They get away with it. Yeah.
There's an honest answer.
Okay, let's look at the first part of the question. 6,000 Rand to
That's
On-road costs. They call it on-road costs.
That's about double what I would expect.
Yeah.
I'd expect between 2,500 and 3,000.
I think that's
on the
fair.
road,
Yeah,
on the
that's
road.
fair cost. That's a fair cost.
So 6,000, I think, is way outside the parameters.
Maybe they filled half a tank of gas for him. So that makes it 7.5 grand
On what?
already.
On
7,000 Rand already.
on an FJ Cruiser, maybe. Yes.
Yeah. So it's difficult to say, obviously every dealership charges, they have a different rate. I've seen some funny numbers, some ridiculous numbers, but I know from my clients when we do registration and costing on a vehicle, I would say our cost is around about, if you're doing a roadworthy on it and you're doing the license and registration, normally we have to pay a runner who goes to the license department. Our cost is about 3,000 Rand.
Yeah.
It's really, and it varies from car to car. A bigger, more expensive, a Range Rover is going to cost more than a City Golf. So it depends on what the car is. But we're looking at approximately about, 3,000 Rand to do that. So they're just doubling it up.
Because
making a
they
lot
get
of money.
away with it.
They get away
Well,
with it.
Martin, it's a good question because if you're purchasing a car, Pokiso, and you question it and say, but guys, this is an obscene amount of money just to register my car and put it in my name.
You can actually tell them.
You can
"Look,
negotiate to them. or
I
you
can pay this cash, especially when you're
finance it.
financing. Even when you're financing, you can tell them, I'm paying this cash, and they will take off this amount. Depending on the vehicle that you're registering. The biggest issue for most dealers or bank not wanting to do this is because people can go and register the car on your name while it's still under finance, and that is not allowed.
Yeah.
So you can negotiate with the dealership, says, look, I'll give you 1.5, I don't have to finance this. Because when they put it into your finance, then you have
It's not
you're paying
6 grand
interest.
anymore.
It's not 6,000 anymore.
Yeah.
It goes up because now you are paying that with
So
the old
interest
other
rate
What
and all
you're
that.
saying
Yeah.
is don't add the 6,000 Rand admin fee
Yes.
to your finance package. Pay that separately. Say, look,
Yeah.
I'll pay deal. Often what I say to people is when you go and you find the car that you want to buy, and let's say it's 250,000 Rand. So I'm going to pay you the 250,000 Rand, and then obviously the bank's finance charges I get. But I'm paying you 250,000 Rand. I'll take the car if you include all the extras in. And often you find the dealer will say, okay, fine, we're going to get a deal.
Yeah.
Because it's only costing them 2,500, 3,000 Rand. They'll factor that in, take it out of their margin if they have. Sometimes they don't have the margin for it, but it's worthwhile trying. In terms of admin fees and initiation costs, I think you smacked it on the head. Why do they charge so much?
Because they can.
Because they can.
they
Because
can.
every finance house does that. This is what it costs you. Admin fee. The admin fee is to take that, they go into the computer and they've got a standard form. They put your name, your ID, and your address in, and that's what you're paying for.
Yes.
But that admin fee is charged every month.
And that has to happen between 8 a.m. on a Monday morning and 4 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, and only during office hours, because apparently the bank's computers also take weekends.
Yes. Yes. Not the ATMs, only the banks.
That's a whole new debate on charges.
I think the biggest thing that we can take away from this question is that the advice to give would be that once you get vehicle financing, you have the power. You can dictate where do I purchase, how do I purchase. You can even throw in a tow bar.
Pre-financing,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you pre-finance to a certain amount, you can walk into a dealership and say, yes, I'm pre-financed for 300K.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
That's
all
it.
I
That's
would
my
need.
limit. I want this, this, and this. If you can do it within the 300K,
We're good to go.
we're good to go.
And I think we also, what the public don't maybe realize out there is that when you buy a car from a second-hand car dealer and they finance it through a specific finance house, whichever it is, that finance house then gives an incentive
Yep.
back to the dealer to say, thank you for financing us. It's just how the industry works. Is it right? Is it wrong? We mentioned banks. I don't know.